What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the third episode of the Who Would Win series. In this one, we've got a bout between two female characters, Miss Lu Lingqi, daughter of the demon herself, going against daughter of Drunky, one of the most fierce and serious female characters of the cast, Miss Xingcai. So we have two certified badass women going head to head in this episode, and of course we're going to analyze everything that we can with these characters in order to figure out who would come out on top in a genuine 1v1 duel. It's quite the matchup here. These two ladies are very similar, especially in Dynasty Warriors 9. Their similarities are like almost identical, except for maybe their personalities and the way they look. But in terms of everything else, how serious they are and the way they're built, they got their armor, they got their sword and shields, could be a pretty even match. With that being said, you guys know what we're doing here. We're covering 5 different sections. Who comes out on top at the end? Let me know your predictions down below. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. And in this episode, I'm going to start off with the in-game weapons for the characters and how they would fare against each other. For Lu Lingqi, she has 2 different weapons. She has a cross pike, which she was introduced with, and then she also has the sword and shield combo, like I mentioned before. But I'm going to give her the crossed pike. I think it's more of her signature weapon. In terms of identity, in terms of Lu Lingqi, I think the cross pike is just a more fitting piece for her, and I'm going to give it to her in this duel. So that being said, we have Lu Lingqi with the cross pike weapon. You guys obviously know how aggressive, destructive, overpowering it was when it was handled by Lu Bu, and that transfers right on over to his daughter because she has a very aggressive move set, very powerful, very strong. Again, we're not including any powers, but just her ability to use the weapon well, very aggressive, very quick. It's quite a lot to deal with at one time. Of course, it can split apart. She can use it effectively using both of the sides, and it's just a very powerful, overbearing type of a weapon. Moving over to Xingcai, her weapon inside the games is the sword and shield, or you can take her all the way back to Dynasty Warriors 5 when she has the fork and shield. Either way, it's pretty much the same weapon. It doesn't really matter if she has the fork and shield or the sword and shield. I'm going to give her specifically the sword and shield. Sword and shield is a very good weapon, and you have your balanced kind of a weapon style. You can attack and defend at the same time. It's very average, nothing too crazy. It's got a couple of flashy moves and everything like that, but I would say in terms of the way Xingcai handles it, she's obviously a master at it. She's able to successfully defend well while being able to attack at the same time, and using that to her advantage definitely gives her an advantage that most characters don't have, an ability to defend yourself and attack at the same time. Her opponent, whoever she's fighting, has to get close enough to obviously initiate her block, and once she's blocking, the person's in close enough range for the person to swing their sword and potentially do some damage. So definitely an advantageous style as well, and definitely one that complements fighting against someone who's as aggressive as Lu Lingqi with her weapon style. So if I had to look at both of these characters and guesstimate on who I think would come on top just based on their weapon styles alone in the games, we have the crazy aggressive Lu Lingqi taking on the more, I believe, conservative, she would wait for an opportunity, kind of defensive fighter. She doesn't have that kind of range, and you know, if someone's going crazy at her, she's probably going to wait for her moment to strike. In this one, I think I would give the point to Lu Lingqi. Yes, I would give the point to Lu Lingqi. I think Lu Lingqi has the advantage of this. I think because of the ability for the pikes to come out and like separate from each other, she also has the ability to defend herself. She can hit her shield, she pulls out the other one, blocks her sword, finds a way to disarm the shield or the sword, whatever it may be, and she would eventually, I think, come on top with how aggressive and the versatility of the weapon. Now, moving into the second section. Now, this is usually where I would talk about the historical information of the characters. However, these characters don't have any historical information. I'm pretty sure they both have fictitious elements to them. I believe Lu Lingqi's name is not correct. Lu Bu had a daughter, but we didn't know her name. And then Xingcai, I believe, is a combination of 2 of Liu Shan's wives from history. So technically, they don't really have any historical information, so I cannot make that a category. Instead, I'm going to change it to cohesiveness of the character, and that's why I started with the in-game weapons, because I wanted to give Lu Lingqi her cross pike. So cohesiveness is basically the compatibility of the character as a whole. Do they make sense as a whole? And in terms of a duel, would that help them or drag them down? Starting off with Lu Lingqi once again. So we have Lu Lingqi with her armor. We're taking her Dynasty Warriors 9 look, and I'm putting it kind of in combination with her cross pike. Not saying that she looked bad in the first game that she was a part of. I just like the white on her. She looks really cool. So the armor, whether it be the white or black, it doesn't really matter. She has a nice cohesive set of armor. It fits her really well. She looks really great. And then she has this cross pike weapon. She's a really well put together character. It fits her personality. She's the daughter of the demon. She's got that blood blood running through her veins, so she's got that, not as aggressive, but she has that aggressive, you know, impulsive kind of behavior. I think she's a little bit more calm than her dad and can probably think a little bit better than him, in my opinion. So, but in terms of cohesiveness, I think she's a really well-rounded character, and everything that's built with this character, compatibility-wise, is really, really good. Then moving over to Xingcai, her compatibility is also really, really good. The cohesiveness of this character is through the charts. She has her armor on, she's got a great look to her, and she's got the sword and shield combo. I think it just fits really well for Xingcai and how serious she is with her duties, with, you know, people around her, whatever it may be. Very serious character, and she has the looks and the weapon style to kind of blend into a really nice character. The cohesiveness of Xingcai cannot be underestimated, because I think in terms of dueling, it flows with her really, really well. There's nothing that's like a little bit off to the point where it would slow her down, if that makes sense. I don't know if this category makes any sense at all, but in terms of cohesiveness, everything makes sense for both of these characters. Xingcai, sword and shield combo, armor is really good, and then that kind of plays right into her personality. She's a little more introverted, but her cohesiveness as a whole is really well done. Same thing with Lu Lingqi. Now, in terms of cohesiveness going against one another, in terms of this section, I think I would have to give this section to Xingcai. I think she would have the advantage here in cohesiveness. Her wholeness as a character is it makes a little bit more sense than Lu Lingqi. The ability for her to actually wield a cross pike so easily, I could kind of see it just because of, and I'll talk about it later with the halberd and how she was able to wield that perfectly. I feel like there is a missing link to her. I think she would leave herself a little bit more open because of her personality, and I think that's where Xingcai at some point could find a small advantage, and that's why I would give cohesiveness of a character to her. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I didn't really know what else to put here. I think that is one of the best categories I could think of to fill in for the historical information being pulled out. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the third category, which is going to be the in-game feat. Alright, so we have the in-game feats. Let's go ahead and start off with Lu Lingqi. Alright, so both of these characters don't really have a lot of in-game feats, so it's going to be a very quick category. Starting off with Lu Lingqi. During the story mode in Dynasty Warrior Extreme Legends for Lu Bu's story, I think she's in like 3 or 4 cutscenes. She's not that active, I would say, and she only displays her ability to fight in 1 cutscene. She comes in, slices 2 people from behind, and then runs in before almost getting shot by Xiahou Yuan. So that's all she has. I don't have much else for her. In Dynasty Warriors 9, she's wielding the halberd with incredible efficiency after Lu Bu passes away. So I guess she has that on her side. She doesn't have much else. That's really all she has. Let's go ahead and move over to Xingcai. Xingcai's in-game feats, again, similarly to Lu Lingqi, she doesn't have many, but she does have, I would say, a better canon, quote-unquote, canon cutscene. She actually displays her ability a little bit better than Lu Lingqi. During the pre-battle, I think, for Wuzhong, she runs in, kills like 4 or 5 soldiers, displaying her efficiency with the weapon, obviously letting us know that she's well-versed with the weapons, with her martial arts skills, which is the next section we'll talk about. But in terms of in-game feats, that's really all I have for her. I mean, she has a bunch of other cutscenes, but she doesn't really do a lot of fighting. She might do a couple in Dynasty Warriors 5, maybe take out a couple more peons and stuff like that. But in terms of in-game feats, that's really all I have for each of them. So I'm gonna have to give this point to Miss Xingcai. Unfortunately, she was able to display a little bit more of her skill versus Lu Lingqi. She only came in and sliced 2 people from behind and then almost got shot, which is not the best look for her. So I'm gonna have to give this point to Xingcai. Now, moving into martial arts skill and intelligence. So martial arts skills and intelligence. Starting with Lu Lingqi, being the daughter of the demon, she's obviously got trained by him. That's what's implied. That's what she says. So I'm gonna go with that. She obviously possesses an extraordinary fighting ability, much like her father. She's able to wield his old weapons with proficiency, with expertise. She seems to have no problem with it at all, which is a big deal. I think for the most part, it takes like 2 people to carry in Lu Bu's weapon, and she's over here swinging it like it's a freaking pool noodle. She's got no problem with it at all. And I would say her intelligence also is a little underrated for the fact that I think she's a little bit more intelligent, or at least calm, more rational than her father and maybe some of the other characters in Lu Bu's forces. And she seems to have that personality of understanding what is needed within the battlefield. I don't think she ever develops the personality to speak up about that, right? Maybe they'll do that in the later iterations, but for what I'm seeing, I think she has that. I think she keeps it to herself. She has this calm, rational kind of understanding of what to do, except for the last cutscene before she got shot. That was, I mean, why would she do that? I understand, it's emotional. Anyway, main point, I think great martial arts skills, very intelligent, and I guess the only downside to her is I read that during Guan Yin Ping's Extreme Legends story, like hypothetical in Dynasty Warriors 8, I think she got pushed back by Guan Yin Ping. I think that's the only thing that is a negative about Lu Lingqi. And not really negative, but just something that, like, she lost. And I don't know, I haven't played through that story. I read it somewhere, so it's not 100% confirmed, but I think I read somewhere that she was driven back by Guan Yin Ping, alright? So, in terms of martial arts skills and intelligence, Lu Lingqi's looking really good. Moving over to Xingcai. So, she's the daughter of Zhang Fei, disciplined and unfazed by most people. And they compare her strength to Guan Ping. So, she's of similar strength to Guan Ping. She ends up fighting with Guan Yin Ping and she's able to hold on. And like I already mentioned in the previous one, she seems to be well versed in the martial arts because she was able to display her skills within that cutscene. And then also being a bodyguard of Liu Shan, you cannot just be a random bodyguard without having some skill. I'm sure she's like the elite of bodyguards. She's like the #1 there. I know she's supposed to be the wife of Liu Shan, but for the most part, she seems mostly like a bodyguard within the games. That's how they seem to portray her. So in terms of martial arts skills, I would not underestimate her. I think she's very confident with her abilities. I don't know, I haven't seen her pick up Zhang Fei's Viper Spear. I'm sure she would be able to use it pretty well, but that's just a assumption. We don't know for sure. And in terms of intelligence, I think Xingcai also has a similar level of intelligence to Lu Lingqi. I think she has a calm, serious persona, and that really translates to being able to intelligently move within a battlefield or commanding people, whatever it may be. She also has, I believe, a high emotional intelligence, understanding when Liu Shan's not feeling well, asking him what's wrong. Would that help her in a duel? Probably not, but in terms of overall intelligence, I think she's on the same level as Lu Lingqi. I wouldn't necessarily say either one of them is smarter than the other. I think they both have similar intelligence if they were to fight one-on-one. But in terms of who gets the point for this section, martial arts skill and intelligence, both of these characters are well endowed in the martial arts and they have a similar level of intelligence. I would have to give the edge here to Lu Lingqi. And the reason I say that is because of her ability to pick up Lu Bu's weapons and use them flawlessly, right? We don't see all the training before that. It's assumed that she did the training at some point and then she picked up the weapons during the cutscenes and was like, yes, I can use these weapons, no problem. So because of that, I think her martial arts skills, just from what we've seen, is a little bit better than Xingcai. And because they have similar intelligence, I would have to give the point here to Lu Lingqi. Now, moving on to the last pieces, we have the X Factor, the Battle of the Daughters, alright? So their X Factors is being the daughters of very powerful people. Starting with Lu Lingqi, daughter of the demon. She inherited the rage and instinct of a warrior, very indomitable presence similar to her father. She's very strong and has a persona of like, you're not going to be able to subdue me easily, and has that certain inspiring, legendary aura about her. There's a lot of this mystery around Lu Bu's daughter, and then she gets introduced in the game and people are like, damn, she looks pretty badass. She got her armor on, she looks pretty sick, and I think that plays into her being the daughter of Lu Bu. Being able to use his weapons efficiently with no problem is a crazy feat. Like I said before, it takes 2 soldiers to carry his weapons, and again, she's flinging it around like it's no big deal. So her X Factor, being the daughter of one of the strongest characters within the Dynasty Warriors series, is 100% her X Factor. Being personally trained by him or maybe his guard, whatever it may be, she has that X Factor. Then moving over to Xingcai and her X Factor being the daughter of Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei, one of the strongest characters from the Dynasty Warriors series, not to be underestimated just because he is quote-unquote weaker than Lu Bu. This is a battle between their daughters, not Lu Bu and Zhang Fei. Because she was trained by Zhang Fei, she ended up being disciplined. She seems like a character that isn't like easily rattled by anybody. Very serious persona. Even in Dynasty Warriors 5, when she was, she had that high-pitched kind of, they're trying to like play on this like fragility of her, like, or her naiveness or whatever it may be. The reason that they gave her that voice is to highlight something of the character. I think it's one of those things. It's got to be her naivete or just being young, whatever it may be. But she still was very, I think she was very, very serious. She's like, I'm okay, I'll be fine, don't worry about me. Even her interaction with Guan Ping, she had a very serious persona ever since she was introduced. Even when she was training Liu Shan, when he was an NPC back then, or talking to him, right? Very serious, I'm going to protect you. And to me, she seems like she is the most serious out of all the female characters, which gives her an X Factor. That's a very good edge to have. Sure, in a 1v1 duel, both of these characters would be very serious. And Lu Lingqi also has, for the most part, a very serious personality, but Xingcai seems to never break that. She seems to always have that. They kind of ease up on it in Dynasty Warriors 9. I can sense an ease up a little bit, but Dynasty Warriors 7, 8, and even Dynasty Warriors 5, she had a very serious, down to business kind of personality. And being the daughter of Zhang Fei also helps her a lot. Alright, so we've come to the last section here, the X Factor. We've got the battle of the daughters, Lu Lingqi versus Xingcai. Who is getting the final point? In my opinion, it's going to be... That's right, I would give this duel to Lu Lingqi. I think Lu Lingqi 100% will come out on top in a battle against Xingcai. I don't think she would overpower her. I don't think it would be like a one-hit landslide kind of a win. I think Xingcai would put up a good fight. She has her moments of holding on her own, fighting with Guan Yinping. Guan Yinping's got that giant freaking mace and she's holding on to it and pushing back and fighting. You know, she has her abilities to be aggressive and capitalizing on opportunity to make something happen. I think she would do that in the duel as well. But I think at the end, Lu Lingqi would somehow find a way to come out on top just because she has the advantage in the martial arts skill. She has the advantage in the weapon. It's a weapon that can come apart. She'll find a way to get past Xingcai. I think if I was looking at it, she would, like, you know, tie her up with her weapons and find a way to disarm her and then cut her or stab her, whatever it may be. Or even the sheer volume of throwing the weapon. I just think that Lu Lingqi would find a way at some point to get past Xingcai's defense, because Xingcai would not be on the offensive for this one. She would 100% be on the defensive. I think she would get caught. I think she would get caught and killed. And that's just my personal opinion based on the things I've read, the things I've seen, and what we know about the characters, alright? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the video, guys. This is the first one between two female characters, Lu Lingqi versus Xingcai. Of course, I'm going to do more. Let me know what you guys think about the video down below. I'm also going to be opening up membership on my channel. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the animation towards the end, but because the animation is a little expensive in order to create, I'm going to open up the membership and for anyone that wants to help so I can continue to make these videos. Anything that I make from this channel automatically gets put back into the channel, so I'll be opening that up for anybody who wants it. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. What do you guys think about my prediction down below? Do you think Xingcai comes out on top? Do you think I was right with Lu Lingqi? Who do you think a good opponent would be for Lu Lingqi next? Who do you guys want to see next? All that good stuff, let me know down below. I've already got some good ideas coming out. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.